Today we are talking about me having a problem, and that is the fact that I bought / was gifted this insane amount of books. I don't even know how many there are here. It's 24 books. Hello friends and welcome to a new video. So today I thought I would do a little haul video. I don't know much about these books yet. I think I've only read one or two of them. And yeah, maybe you can get some inspirations for books that you want to buy, like some covers where you're like, oh, that's pretty, because most of this I was just scrolling through the internet and trying to find things that I'm interested in, but I wasn't really like spending a lot of time on. You might be wondering, Valentino, what the fuck? Why did you buy like 20 books in one sitting? And the truth is, it's not the first time that this has happened. I do this like every year basically, where in the beginning of the year I kind of go crazy and I just buy insane amounts of books and then I just read them throughout the year or half the year or however long it takes me. And for the past like 3 to 4 months, I was so bored with my to be read. Like I had like maybe 4 books that were just sitting here and nothing in the world could motivate me to read those books. Like I don't even know why, but it was so uninspiring. And I love the idea of having like a little bookshop at my home where it's like, I have so much to choose from that I just will find motivation, if that makes any sense. So let's get going with all of these babies. I made a few categories and they're basically just Pulitzer Prize winners because I bought a bunch of them. Then a lot of literary fiction, some random books that don't fit any category, and a little pile of international books, but there could also be some books in here that were written by like international authors. I just don't know enough about the books yet that I would, like be like, oh, Marlo Granados, she is Senegalese, which I'm sure she's not, but you get the point, like, whatever. For my 22nd birthday, I was given a bunch of books, and one of them is Audre Lorde's Sister Outsider, and this is a collection of Audre Lorde's work. It's essays, prose, speeches, letters, interviews, so a lot of different things. And Audre Lorde is a Black feminist writer, and I have read Cancer Journals by her, which was really interesting. It was about her journey with breast cancer, and I haven't read more, so I'm ready. Then a good friend of mine gave me Slouching Towards Bethlehem by Joan Didion, and this one I've actually already read. I finished it yesterday night at like 2 a.m. It's Joan Didion's debut essay collection. She was a journalist in the 1960s where she was writing for different publications like the New York Times Magazine, Vogue, or the Saturday Evening Post, and they are essentially like essays about the West Coast of America. So for example, about Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco, it's kind of where the countercultural movement, so what we kind of came to know as like hippie culture, was located at, and she was a pioneer of what we call now new journalism. So that means that she would kind of immerse herself in these communities that she was writing about and really be a part of them and write a very prosaic, like beautiful, more like chill and lyrical kind of journalism. It's not like just reporting, but she kind of revolutionized reporting. I really love this, although I have to say some of the essays, because they were just literal pieces of journalism during the 60s, it's hard to understand. It's kind of like if you have some random article and you give it to someone in like 60, 70 years, like some of the pop culture references are hard to understand, stuff like that. So it's kind of like sometimes it's a slow read, but some of the essays really fucking slap. So next up we have Breasts and Eggs. This, for example, should be on my international pies because, as I can tell, it's written by a Japanese author, maybe Japanese American, I don't know. And it's about 3 women who are grappling with womanhood. One of them wants to get breast augmentation surgery. I think it's just gonna be a lot, like lots of intermingling stories about what it means to be a woman in Japanese society. I'm not sure in what time it's set, but I'm very eager to read this, and this one I bought for the cover. I just love this, and I mean, breasts and eggs, it's kind of hot, you know what I mean? Like, it's hot. This one I'm so excited to read. Oh my god, I don't know why, I just have a good feeling about her. Our Wives Under the Sea. Apparently this is about a lesbian couple, and one of them works in a submarine, and she goes on a mission, but it ends in like catastrophe, and like she's stuck like under the ocean, so that's why Our Wives Under the Sea. And then she comes back to her partner, but she comes back like changed, and she's like not the same person anymore. And it's kind of about their relationship and how like the other woman deals with, you know, having missed her partner and being so excited that she's back, but then also realizing that the person she fell in love with is kind of gone. So I think this one's gonna be traumatic for me, but in a hot way, and also the cover, absolute slay. Next up we have Black Swans by Eve Babbitt. So this is like a short story collection, as far as I've gathered, about like 1980s and 1990s decades of dreams, drink, and glimpses of a changing world. So I think this is gonna be like lush and like interesting and deep and sultry, and I'm ready. I've never read anything by Eve Babbitt, but I've been wanting to read this for so long because it's a hot book and we love that. It just looks hot. Next up we have Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead, and this is about a lesbian woman who is like kind of depressed, and she goes to Catholic church to get free therapy, but the like father priest, he kind of mistakes her for somebody who's coming for a job interview, and she just doesn't say anything and gets the job, and then she just runs with it, and you know, then she's trying to hide that she's kind of gay and like religion, but it's also supposed to be really funny. So I love another good gay book. I think we're gonna continue with the Pulitzer Prize winners and a little forward. So I have read one Pulitzer Prize winning book and I completely forgot what it was, but it absolutely wrecked me. And also Donna Tartt and Jeffrey Eugenides are like my two favorite authors, and I knew that they both had two Pulitzer Prize winning novels, and I was like, okay, I have to read it. And I was like, you know what, I'm looking for new books that I wouldn't randomly find, even though they did win a Pulitzer Prize. I don't know why I thought that, but yeah. So basically I just looked through the Pulitzer Prize winner list and thought like, oh, like what looks interesting except for these two. One is Middlesex. I don't know how to say this title. But this is by Jeffrey Eugenides. I love this man so much. It's the last book I have that I can read of his. And it's apparently about this person who's born intersex, and it's this like massive portrayal about America and like different generations. And his writing, oh my god, that's my alarm. I'm supposed to wake up now. I'm so sorry for shocking you. So yeah, his prose and his writing is just insanely good, and I know I'm gonna love it. Like, he could literally be writing about a shoe that lives in a shoebox and nothing happens, but I would fucking read it. Like, I would be so enamored with that because he's just so good. And the same applies to Donna Tartt. This won the Pulitzer Prize in 2014, and it's about this guy, Theo Decker, who lives in New York City, and he's like alone, and he's taken in by the family of a wealthy friend, and he's tormented by longing for his mother. Yeah, I don't know what this is about, but Donna Tartt is just fucking goddess, like absolute goddess. So I didn't even ask any questions, I just got it. Next up we have Colson Whitehead, The Nickel Boys, who also won the Pulitzer Prize. And he's the author of The Underground Railroad, which was during slavery in America, there was this network of people who were helping slaves to flee to like the northern states in America. And this system was called the Underground Railroad, but I don't know why I'm telling you this. This book is about this boy who's growing up like in the 1960s in Tennessee. No, in Tallahassee. I don't know where that is. But anyways, he gets sentenced to like this juvenile institution. It's kind of like a prison, but it's called the Nickel Academy, and it's this like deeply racist place that's actually real, and it has also exists. So it's kind of like the Underground Railroad, where it's a very interesting chapter of the history of racism in America, and he wrote a novel about it. So real event, fake story, or maybe real event, real story, but I don't know. I will tell you when I read it. And the last one, this doesn't look like a fucking Pulitzer Prize winner. Like, this looks like a cringy ass romance novel. I don't know why, but I kind of love it. Okay, so Less is this book about this gay man who has kind of like, I don't know if he gets like stood up at the altar or not, but he's having like issues with his boyfriend, and then like his life is failing, everything is going to shit, and he decides to kind of like run away and do like a world tour, a sabbatical kind of thing, where he goes to Mexico, Italy, Germany, Morocco, India, Japan. And people say it's really funny and like really like interesting and like funny, but yeah, I'm ready for this. And also, maybe you don't even know what the Pulitzer Prize is. Maybe I should have said that. So the Pulitzer Prize is basically like the most prestigious literary prize in America. They have different categories, and these are like the fiction winners, and it's like, yeah, so I trust them. Next up we have Happy Hour, and this is about two girls who are like 21 years old, and they're in New York City, and they are super like hedonistic. They just want to have a good time, they want to have fun, and they get like really messy and crazy and just kind of like adventure, like fun, a little mysterious, whatever. And I'm mainly reading this because I miss New York City and I kind of want to feel the feels. Next up we have Elektra by Jennifer Saint, which is a mythological retelling of the Elektra myth. And I love Greek mythology, like lots and lots. And I've actually, last year I was working on a big project that has a lot to do with Elektra. I'm not gonna say more because it's kind of like in a drawer, like this whole project that I was writing on. And I kind of was like, I have to read it. So if I ever like decide to publish what I was writing, it's not the same. Yeah, so that's a random reason why I'm reading this, but it's important because imagine I publish something and then it's like literally the same fucking thing and everybody's like, oh, you copied it, but I just never read it. Next up I have Sorrow and Bliss by Meg Mason. I don't really know what this is about. I think it's about a sad woman who's like trying to get control over her life, but I don't really know. It just looked like this cover is kind of ugly, but like the I think the American version was cooler, or the UK, I have no idea. But the other cover looked so good, and that's why I wanted to buy it. And then I didn't find that cover. Next up, we have Book Lovers by Emily Henry. So this is like a love story about one summer, two rivals, a plot twist they didn't see coming. I've seen this all over TikTok, so I was like, I'm gonna give it a go. A lot of people who read more literary fiction, have a similar taste to me, have read this and loved it, so that's why I was like, okay, this is the like big TikTok book that I'm gonna read because it looks good. Next up we have How to Kill Your Family, and I have no fucking idea what this is about, but the title, the cover, I had to read it. This pile is getting real big. Next up we have Lie With Me. I also don't know what this is about, but it is, I think, about some gay relationship, and it's like melancholic and sad and deep and something like that. Let me read. Okay, so it turns out this is actually a French book. I could have gotten this in French, but whatever, now it's too late. And like Andre Asseman, who wrote Call Me By Your Name, says it's like beautiful, and it's about these two boys, and one of them leaves the town and they're in love and they have this love affair, and the other one stays behind, but he never forgets him. And I think it's gonna be like really wrecking my fucking heart. So yeah, it kind of reminds me of Ocean Vuong's On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, where like the love affair between Ocean and this like Trevor guy, I think that's what his name is, kind of gives me that vibe, you know, small town, homophobia, but like we have this steep ship, but one of them leaves and gets successful and the other one kind of just rots. Okay, we still have some time on here. I kind of have to be fast because my SD card is gonna get full, so I'm gonna try to rush through this. Michelle Obama in German, Das Licht in uns, because my mom gave it to me. I would have preferred in English, but I still, you know, like whatever. Next we have Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything. Last up, we have this international pile, so small. We have Isabel Allende, Mujeres del Alma Mía. I started reading this, really cute. I don't know why I read so little in Spanish, but it's like her kind of essay collection about like womanhood and feminism. This was a gift for my birthday. It's called This is Lagos. This is Lagos and Other Stories, African Women Writers series. So I'm hyped for this. Very similar, but kind of a way better cover is My Pen is the Wing of a Bird, new fiction by Afghan women. So it's an anthology by different Afghan women. And now I have the German books, except for Obama, but like it's not an actual German book. We have Silke Elschbas, Ich föhne mir meine Wimpern. I dry my... I'm so stupid. I dry my lashes with a blow dryer. No, I blow dry my lashes. That was way too slow. It's a poetry book by this person who studied at my university. So that's, I got this as a gift as well. And I also wanted to read it and I was really excited because I had heard on the radio about it and I was like, I kind of want to get it, but then I never did. Then next up I have this, Beneath Her Eyes by Dora David. And this was also a gift by a friend. And they were like, I didn't love it, but I think you're gonna love it. So I was like, okay, I don't know. But I think I know why this said that. It was because this book is about a ballet dancer and then at some point I think she's gay and she's kind of like struggling in the ballet world, and I think it's a lot about like girlhood and like womanhood, and my friend kind of just, it probably was like the topic, I hope, but I got this really sweet like picture and card and it was just the sweetest thing. So it was actually really meaningful to me, and I think it's kind of funny that they said that it was like kind of like, ugh, like I started reading it but I never finished it, but like here, it's your gift now. And then last, I don't know why I'm putting this last, kind of weird, my mom gave me this for my birthday as well because she's been a little worried about my mental health. Kopf frei, Volker Busch, wie sie Klarheit, Konzentration und Kreativität gewinnen. Yeah, it's like a self-help book, I guess, but it's like psychologist that she's like a huge fan of. Like she listens to every podcast, everything he's ever said. I think my mom has like listened to it, and I feel like I'm gonna push this like very far into the future because I know I should read this. Like I know I need to work on myself. Like I know that my mental health is like not where it's supposed to be. And books like this do help. Like I believe they do help because every time I read something like this, it actually helps me. But I'm kind of like, ugh, do I want to? Not really. So yeah, this was my humongous book haul. I hope you got some inspiration, and like, I don't know, soon when I will have read them, you will recognize them again, hopefully, and you will be like, oh, maybe I want to read them. I already know. I'm not making much sense. My voice is a little exhausted because I am still sick, as you can probably hear. But yeah, I will see you soon.